Hey everybody, welcome back. Today, we're going to set up the airplane, make sure our control surfaces are working, and get you ready to go out and fly. The first thing we're gonna do whenever we're setting up an airplane and we're gonna power it on is to remove the propeller. So let's go ahead and do that now. Removing the propeller on this airplane is super simple. There's actually a hole right here in this nose cone. And all you need to do is slide something in there to torque on it. So I'm going to use a tool that I have. I'm going to just slide in this hole and I'm going to push it the opposite way of the propeller to break it loose and then simply unscrew the prop net. Once we do that, we can slide this off. The collet and everything will come with it. Now that we're safe to work on our airplane, we're going to go ahead and open the canopy. We're going to install the battery and power the plane up with the bind plug in it. All right, so if you can see inside, we're gonna slide the battery right underneath this foam, and we're gonna put the connector in first. We're just gonna slide our battery in, like so. That's it. Inside, we also have our bind lead. We're gonna hook our bind plug in. Doesn't matter which way you plug it in, you can't go wrong. And now we can power up the airplane. So when we hear those tones, we know that it's initialized. We can also tell by the receiver flashing. So now what I'm going to do is on my particular radio, I'm going to hold down the bind button here and power it on. Now we are bound. We can check our surfaces. Everything is working. We can check our throttle. And we are fully bound and connected to the airplane. Now that's how to bind it if you want safe off. If you want to bind with safe on, I'll show you how to do that now. We'll repeat the steps. We'll put our bind plug in. We'll power on the airplane. Let it initialize. We'll check our receiver, make sure it's flashing, and it is. We will now remove the bind plug. And now I will press the bind button on my radio and power it on. This will bind with Safe Select on. All right, we have the airplane bound with Safe on. Now it is important to remind you that before you bind the airplane, you should set up your radio first. I went ahead and did that. I went to spectrumrc.com, downloaded the profile for the T-28, and installed it on my radio. You can also get that information from the manual. Either way, it's up to you, but you'll want to set up your radio before binding. So now let's do our pre-flight checklist. We're going to take our radio, and we're going to check and make sure that all of our surfaces are moving, and they're moving in the right direction. We're going to test our left aileron. If I move my aileron to the left, this one should go up, and the right one should go down. And it does. So our left aileron's moving right. If we move to the right, we should see the right aileron go up and our left aileron go down. And it does. So our ailerons are working. I'm going to pull back, which should actually make it go up. And it does. Now I'm going to push up on my stick, which should make the elevator go down. And it does. So, ailerons are working, elevator's working. Now let's check the rudder. Rudder to the left should go to the left, and it does. Rudder to the right should go to the right, and it does. Okay, rudder, elevator, ailerons, throttle. Let's check our throttle. I'm going to hold the airplane just for safe measure, and we can hear it power up. So all four of our main control surfaces are now working. The only other thing we need to test is test our safe. All right, to test our safe, I'm going to pick the airplane up and I'm going to move it, and I am seeing the ailerons trying to correct itself. Now, it's going to be hard for you to see this on camera, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna hold it at an angle and I'm gonna turn safe off. When I turn safe off, you should hear and possibly see the elevators go back to neutral. Hear that? Safe on, safe off. So when we know our safe is now working. Okay, now our pre-flight checklist is done. We're bound. Everything's working the way it should. There's only two things we need to do. One, charge your battery up before your first flight. Make sure your battery is fully charged. And two, let's install the propeller. But before we install the propeller back on, we need to unplug the battery first. Okay, to install the propeller, we're gonna do the same thing that we did to take it off. We're gonna slide the collet onto the motor shaft. We're gonna take our prop nut and thread it on. And then we're gonna take our tool, stick it in the hole, and just tighten it up. That's all there is to it. All right, everybody, that's it. That's how to set up your T-28 Trojan 1.1 meter from E-Flite. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. We'll be glad to answer them for you. Super simple build, super simple setup, and a great plane to fly. You will enjoy this. It is a great intro to warbirds. And even if you are familiar with warbirds, this thing on a 4S is a ton of fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.